This video is aimed at all of those in NSN, not just the Academy, who are involved in training and learning. It aims to give a quick overview to the latest academic research and studies into adult learning, which were used in forming the Academy strategy. As NSN starts its journey on becoming a learning organisation, these studies and research will have a major impact on what we do or need to do to deliver effective, engaging learning. And that's what the Academy aims to do. Our vision is to make it easy to learn, perform and share anytime, anywhere. These words were chosen carefully. Making learning easy means it must be engaging and accessible. We want it to be effective and efficient to increase performance, which drives the company. And it's social. We need to share good practice, techniques and tips to help everyone. Learning content should be available when and where it's needed. So if you need skills ramping up in the weeks before taking on a role, or 5 minutes before a challenging situation, we should be able to help. And where you are shouldn't be an issue. If you're in the office, at home or in the field, we should be able to get content to you. That's the driving vision we want to achieve with the Academy strategy. We want to embed learning seamlessly into everyone's working day. It's an everyday activity. Now, when most people think of training or learning, they fall back on their experiences from school and imagine either a lecture or group of students gathered around a teacher. And the problem with this model of education is the emphasis, the focus is not on the learner, but on the instructor. State education has its origins in the Industrial Revolution, when there was a need to educate rural country folk to a basic level so they could count and read and operate machines. It was an industrial approach, a mass market approach, to get as many people educated to a basic level as cheaply as possible. It was system-centric, all focused on the system, with a few instructors and discipline to keep it working. Learners are on a conveyor belt, like an education production line stamping in the basics. Learners' needs are not taken into consideration. There's no place for individuals or areas of interest or specialisms. It's the easiest way to teach our children, so our governments do it. But it isn't the best way to educate, especially adults. In fact, the system-centric approach is the opposite of the Academy's vision. The Academy is aiming at a learner-centric environment, with the learner and their interest and enthusiasm and their needs being central. Because learning happens everywhere and in everything we do, in play, in troubleshooting, in talking to others, reading blogs, comment forums, question answer discussion boards, watching NSN Tube videos, and recording experiences and videos to share with others. We learn all the time and in all activities, not just formal training. So the Academy provides the tools to drive and enable this learning. Yep, the Academy does develop and deliver formal content. In fact, last year we delivered close to 250,000 student days of teaching to NSN staff and NSN customers. But alongside the formal training catalogue are the tools to generate and support the self-driven learning and make learning more immediate and accessible for the learner. And why are we moving away from the emphasis of face-to-face classroom-based training? Because the academic research and studies into adult learning, neuroscience and how the brain works suggest that the classroom model isn't the most effective way of learning, especially adult learning. So here is a quick roundup of the academic research into adult learning. Andragogy is the study of adult learning, and the key findings are that adults need to know why they need to learn something, so they learn best when a topic is of immediate value. Adults approach learning as problem solving. They need to learn experimentally, and being adults, they expect to take responsibility for the decisions. And self-directed learning is best, as are case studies and simulations. Adults don't like to be spoon-fed. Instructors get best results when acting as a facilitator, helping the learner discover rather than just lecturing and grading. Reviewing neuroscience and brain-based learning studies show that all humans want to understand, and the understanding of meaning is more important than just the information. Learning occurs by seeking patterns and making connections. The brain is social, so develops best with others and in discussion. Complex learning is enhanced with challenge, which leads on to incentive-centered design, ICD. ICD achieves better results. It's the science of system design, aligning the incentives to system goals. It's used to induce desirable behaviours like participation and cooperation, rewarding positive actions. It's the gamification of learning, where challenges are set and rewards, levels and status attained through success. So learning is an active process, not sitting at the back of a class. Because where learning occurs is very important. Learning is a function of the activity, context and culture in which it occurs. Generally, classroom learning activities involve knowledge that is out of context, so harder to use and apply and rely on, so it's not as effective as on-the-job training or nuggets of learning that can be quickly applied. The culture of learning is important. We all work in teams with different skills and strengths. Learners like to be recognised in their team for their skills and enjoy getting more involved in the community as their skills grow. They help others learn what they've just learned and pass on their skills. It's a culture, a family. And that's what Hutagodji advocates, the principles of self-determined and self-driven learning. Learning occurs as a result of personal experiences. It's an active and proactive process. And more importantly, the more you learn, the better you get at learning, and the development of capable learners, people who are able to learn and research and have a drive to learn, is a vital component of any adult learning system. We shouldn't spoon-feed adults. Now, cognitive load theory suggests that the more information that's delivered at one go, the less likely students will actually learn what's been taught and will not be able to recall or use that information later. Because the short-term working memory can only retain a certain finite amount of information, and it can only absorb and retain the information effectively, provided it doesn't overload the mental capacity. So learning nuggets and bite-sized chunks are best, as is immediate task-based performance-related feedback, which, from cognitive studies, show that you need to see and understand what you are doing wrong quickly to correct and prevent negative responses or misconceptions gaining traction. Gathering together the key points from all these studies and academic research shows that effective adult learning is not our traditional view of classroom-based training. Effective adult learning will be given just in time, so it's relevant. It'll be task-based and in small chunks or modules or nuggets. It'll be challenge-based with problem solving and a game element for engagement and progression to show mastery. And it will be social, so you can share and learn with others. And if you take all these elements together, it's the learner-centric academy strategy. So how does all this academic research and the academy strategy affect how we should design learning content in the future and help facilitate the move away from classroom-based training? Instructional design principles can be summarised with ABCD: audience, objectives, content and delivery. Always think of the audience, put yourself in their shoes, think of how your learning content can be made more accessible and engaging for them, so they want to take it and they can easily fit it into their schedule without too much disruption. What you want to achieve with the learning should be split into multiple objectives, and for each objective the content can be created with an appropriate delivery method that suits the complexity of the objective. And with this approach, it's easy to build a varied, engaging, blended learning approach and chunk it into smaller bite-sized learning nuggets. Apart from being more effective, it's more time and cost efficient. Learning programs shouldn't be over-designed. Learning objectives fit into a range of complexities, from simple, quick, cheap, mass-market information messaging to complex analysis of technical issues, which would cost more to deliver and take more student time to achieve. So good objectives will look at the verb, the action you need the learner to perform, and be designed accordingly and not over-designed. It's often overlooked, but learning programs often need to set the scene and inspire and encourage people to want to study and follow the program, showing the benefit of the study. These rabble-rousing motivational speeches are best achieved with a short NSN Tube video, a blog article, or a message from a senior leader, or postings on a chat board to get the peer influence. If you want students just to remember something, then it's fine to give out a cheat sheet or a mobile learning nugget. A short video or a WebEx session would also be appropriate. Slightly more complex objectives for learning would involve students being able to understand something. This could be best achieved with a short video, a WebEx session, a recorded virtual classroom event, a proctored exam, a short web-based training package, a quiz, or an interactive educational game. If you want more than just understanding, but the ability to apply the information, then virtual classrooms, face-to-face classroom training, troubleshooting or practicals and quizzes, interactive games are good and can be enhanced with an online community. Similar delivery methods could be applied for analysis and evaluation objectives. Again, these could be strongly enhanced with online forums and chat rooms so learners can share their experiences and help each other learn the concepts. They learn from each other. They form a learning community, a learning organisation. So by breaking a learning program into multiple objectives and designing efficient and effective content to be appropriately delivered, automatically creates a blended learning approach and nuggets of learning, making it more accessible. And this varied and engaging content makes it easy to learn, share, perform anytime, anywhere.